Good evening and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Daniela Guzman. Keith Garvin is off. Tonight, 2 Harris County Sheriff's deputies are being investigated for possibly mishandling calls for a stabbing victim who later died. The man was not found until 10 hours later after multiple calls to 911. KPRC2 News reporter Bryce Newberry went to that scene on Red Oak Drive near 1960, where the victim's family is now demanding answers.
He was building his house right here.
Tucked behind the trees off Red Oak Drive is where Mark Hamilton wanted to be.
Some of us may think of it as homeless, but would it be that in your mind?
To me, I would consider it living off the grid.
Home for him had a couch with a speaker, even a clothing hanger on a tree. He'd been working to build it up the past couple years, but now Mark won't get to finish what he started.
That was the most horrible call I've ever gotten in my life.
His daughter Alicia says she worried about him all the time, and earlier this month, Sky 2 flew over the scene as the medical examiner left with his body. He'd been stabbed in the neck. It's now a homicide investigation. But how Harris County Sheriff's deputies responded to the initial calls for help is also being reviewed.
Do you worry that he maybe could have been saved?
That is a thought that I've had since the day it happened. And I do believe that if things would have been done differently, there is a possibility that we could be sitting here doing a survivor story.
The sheriff's office says someone ran into a nearby hospital asking for help for an injured man in the woods. A deputy responded shortly after midnight on October 3rd, and a sergeant responded separately within that same hour. Both reported they didn't find anything as Mark laid bloody right inside his entryway.
If the police would have walked out here, do you think they would have been able to see him?
Yes, I do believe that if they would have put effort into coming out here with their flashlights and everything else they had, I do believe that they would have found him.
10 hours later, deputies got called back to the same address and in daylight found Mark dead.
Police are supposed to respond when called no matter what. No matter if the people are homeless or if they're not, or if they're off the grid. That is their duty.
We still don't know what law enforcement did or didn't do that night, but Mark's daughter calls it unsettling. She wishes it could have been handled differently.
I hope that if any policy was not followed, that they are held responsible for their actions and that gets taken care of so that doesn't happen again to anybody else.
The sheriff's office confirms the deputy and the sergeant that initially responded have both been temporarily reassigned for an internal affairs investigation to figure out whether or not department policy was followed. Mark Hamilton's stabbing death still has not been solved, so the homicide investigation continues, and anyone with information about that is asked to call the sheriff's office or Crime Stoppers. In North Harris County, I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.